There's something that really broke my heart. Sometimes I know it happens like months, and then eventually we just hear about it. But most of the recordings I do, like, you're so inspired when you're listening to like Caleb, or you're listening to some of these spiritual, posting. So I want to share something that really caused my heart to bleed. There was an incident where a man took a picture. He went on vacation, maybe in Africa or somewhere, where people are starving. So he took a picture of a little girl that was sitting in a field, and a crow was sitting behind her, waiting for her to die. And the reporter or the narrator for the picture said that before the guy took the picture, they tell him that this place is full of diseases and stuff like that, so you're not supposed to touch these people or you can't help them. And here I am looking at a child with the John Crow there waiting for her to die, and you just taking a picture of it. And it's the same thing we do here. We'll try to catch picture of accidents and everything that's happening. I'm guilty of that too. We take pictures of situation and then we keep it moving. But in a situation where it's a human being, and if you have an extra water where you can give that person some water or give them some of the food that you have, just that little water can save that person's life for another minute for him to get to where the food is. So sometimes, there are laws and people tell you, oh, don't do this. And people tell you, oh, don't do this. And they'll build up fear in you. Oh my God, they're full of diseases. They're doing that. But for us as a Christian, we're part of another kingdom. And we are governed under different things. We govern with our heart. That's why God said the greatest is love. Because when you think of it, that is somebody who is hurting, somebody is sick. I don't care what your laws are. When you think of Daniel, when they threw him in the lion den, there were so many laws. They threw those Hebrew boys in the fire. I'm sure they were scared. It's like, oh my God, But they say, you know what, even if I die, I'm still going to serve God. And that's why we have to look at it, that even now, with this COVID thing where people scaring you like, oh my God, and everybody, oh, I got to go take the shot, I got to get the booster shot, So you take all these shots in the world, but you're still not saved, you're still not a Christian, because what if you do die? People die in car accidents every day. People die from heart attack. There's so many other ways that people dying. But yes, if people are here, oh, I can prevent death by just taking a shot. So you take a shot. Okay, your life is spared. Are you saved? Are you living for God? And are you willing to help other people who are around? So listen, the way how people make it seem now is like, people on the street corner, they're begging for food, they're begging for money. I'm not going to give them my money because they wanted to buy drugs or they buy this. But there are other things that we can do. In a situation, as I was telling you about with that person who took the picture of a little girl that was sitting in the field with a crow watching her, they say he committed suicide a few days after they took the picture. And one of the things, it really breaks my heart to see that sometimes, even for myself, when we go to church and like, oh my God, we can't even hug anybody in church. We can't even show love because, oh my God, we got to stay 6 feet apart. And we're thinking like Jesus in his days, they were setting laws for him also. We got to tell him, hey, you can't touch leper. You can't touch man who possessed by demons. So, there was always love. But you have to remember, we are a part of a different kingdom. And we have to know that we know that we love God. Because if you love God and you see somebody in a bush, hungry or just need a little water, don't tell me because they're telling you, oh, that person have a lot of disease, that you can't touch them, you can't do, so you're going to make that person die, and you watch that person die, when even if you give them the water and they die, well, at least you do something to help. And that thing really broke my heart to say, that poor guy, he must have gone through a state of depression when you think of it, that, oh my God, and that's why sometimes we really don't want to see such a situation. We just turn off the TV because it's too much for our heart. We just can't take it. But you're not going to see everything, and you're not going to be able to save the world. But the thing that is right in front of your eyes, the thing that is right there and then, the kindness that you can do, the love that you can do, the prayer that you can pray for someone right there in front of your eyes, I think that's what makes a difference. We're not going to be able to save the world. Jesus came on the earth and he wasn't able to save the world, but he went out of his way to help that man who had the legions of the demons. He went out of his way for that woman with the issue of blood who actually, she went out of her way to touch him. But he still acknowledged her. He didn't just, oh yeah, she saved. He acknowledged her. And every one of us want to be acknowledged. We want to be loved. And in this time of chaos and scariness, where people are so afraid of touching each other because COVID and all these things, There are the reasons where people can die. So many people are dying from heart attack. You exercise, you eat right, you do everything to preserve your life. But you have to remember, at the end of the day, we were born and we all have an expiration day. We're all gonna die. But after death comes the judgment. So we have to be ready for death. You can live your life in fear and take 1,000,000 shots, 1,000,000 this, and go through chaos and don't touch anybody and wash your hand 24/7. But let me tell you, you need to get your heart right. Because we all going through crazy. I've seen some people who have 2 jobs and they have their house full of clothes, jeans, the latest sneakers, the new things. All you're just driving yourself crazy, getting all these things, gathering all these things. Even the Bible says a man's life is not consistent abundance of riches. Somebody say, "Oh, I got a lot of dollar, making it rain," and you have all these things. I'm gonna buy $1,000 Gucci, or I'm gonna buy all these things. Okay, so you buy it, you impress the world. Are you happy? Are you helping anybody? Are you trying to be kind to the people who are in front of you? Right in front of you. Some of us, we send our money. Oh, I'm sending my money to Haiti. No, don't do that. Help the person that is in front of you. You know, because there's so much evil in the world. But it starts with one of us by one by one. We help that person and that immediate need right in front of us. Because nowadays it's so hard to even trust people. Like, I give my offering, you gonna go buy $1,000 shoes or Gucci bag and all these things. How is that given to God? If I give you my 10% of money and then you go buy Gucci, you live in $1 million house, I'm giving you 10% of my earning. Tell me, how is that given to God? Okay, so I have a problem with those where we worshiping those dead laws, those dead people who set all these rules and all these manipulation and brainwashing. Well, we have to come back to our senses and say, listen, I got a brain, I can think for myself. I'm not gonna just follow with the crowd and just do what they say. Oh, give you 10%, give you my 10% so you can go live large. You walking around in your $1,000 shoes. Oh yeah, I'm better than you, dress better than you, and I'm better than you. How is that love? How is that love? If you got $1 million today, you could go buy a plot and build a lot and buy houses, small houses, build as much as you can and help people. As a person who is a millionaire, you shouldn't pass anybody on the street who is homeless. You shouldn't, because that should be one project that you could take on that one person. I say, I'm going to find a house to put this person. I don't care what the situation. They could be on drugs, they could be gay, they could be whatever. It doesn't matter their circumstances. You have to see people, because we are a spirit that lives in a body. I'm a female right now, but I'm a spirit, and the Spirit of God is in me. So I want people to see the Spirit of God that's in me, not see this woman. Because whether I'm a man or a woman, if the Spirit of God is working in you, it's working in you, and that's it. So for me, we say, what are you doing to make a change? I'm doing what is in front of me. I feed who is in front of me. I pray for who is in front of me, and I am kind, and I do the best that I can. That I can. So today, don't be overwhelmed by all this chaos of, oh, I gotta get this shot, I gotta do this. Think about your soul and your salvation, and get your life right with God today. It's not about, oh, I'm going to this church, because listen, you can't even trust no pastors, you can't trust nobody. God didn't call you to trust no pastor, because anybody can just come out of jail and say, oh, I need to make some money right now. And you know, there's so many con artists. So don't get so bugged down and brainwashed by pastors and whatever. Take the Bible and read it for yourself and say, and speak to God, because he said, I have your word. Your word, what he said, your word is life, or your word, you are there. I forgot the terminology that we use about the words that you speak. It's life. So speak life and allow God to guide you each day. To know that when our life is ended, it doesn't matter what people may say about you. You know that you've done the best that you can. And that's how we gotta live. In Jesus' name. Hallelujah.